Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Machakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us 100% truth, according to the spirits of be Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word through the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. Peace and blessings to your hopeful believers out there, which are also part of the elect. I say shalom. And once again, I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Forgive me, Rachakodash, the Holy Spirit, to do the lesson on today. Lord, willing and feed you, lamb and sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So we have video to the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to go into how Jake cared more about the World Cup than prophecy. You know, Jake care more about the World Cup, and not even just the World Cup, but certain social media activities, you know, certain celebrities, more than about prophecy, than about our Lord Yahweh Shai returning and establishing righteous rulership within the earth. They'd rather have it so. They'd rather indulge in this wickedness, man. So I was looking up this term, bread and circus. You know, it goes around a lot. You know, and this is pretty much where this is a tactic that Rome, which I'm gonna read it, but this is a tactic that Rome rulers used in certain situations to help with their political power, right? So this is us as bread and circus is a political idiom or idiom referring to a government strategy of using superficial appeasement. Superficial appeasement such as free food and lavish entertainment to direct the public from systematic problems, pacify disconnect, and prevent political unrest, right? And that's just what I have in the Google, because I looked it up in the chat. It says and you get it from, it says the phrase comes from Latin panem et circenses, if I'm saying that right. It says coined around 100 AD by the Roman poet Juvenal in his satire X. He used it to criticize the Roman populace for surrounding their political power and civic duties. Instead of caring about the republic, citizens have become consumed by two simple desires: free grain and extravagant entertainment, such as chariot races and gladiator fights. And the free grain bread, right? So it's the reason it says how the tactics worked historically and modernly. This strategy relies on two components: the bread, fulfilling the immediate basic survival needs of the population to eliminate the primary catalyst for revolt, etc. Poverty relief, basic welfare subsides. Then you got the circus aspect of it. It says providing massive distracting spectacles or entertainment that capture public attention and channel frustrations into harmless or controlled outlets, etc. Sports, celebrity drama, pop culture. You see, so the bread, you know, is the food. You know what I'm saying? The food, fulfilling the immediate basic survival needs of population to limit the primary catalyst for revolt. You know, food, says, like I said, poverty relief, basic welfare subsides. And you got the circus, providing massive distractions, spectacles, or entertainment that capture public attention and channel frustrations into harmless or controlled outlets. You see, so that's the term. That's the bread and circus. You see, so when you go over and chat, because a lot of Jake consumed by the circus, you know what I'm saying? They consumed by the bread, which is Jake getting good pay, which it ain't looking too good with the pay right now currently. But in general, since this whole situation with the Iran and with prophecy unfolding and Esau before the eyes of Jake, you know, establishing his N to the W to the O. Now you got to remember this nigga Cotton Swab, He said you'll be happy owning nothing. You see, when you look at when you look at aspects like Hell Gates, this nigga Hell Gates, he owns. Let's see how much he owns of the. If not, I think he owns all the farmland. Actually, put it in. Let me see. It says Hellgates is the largest private farm owner in the United States, possessing approximately 242,000 acres of cropland and traditional lands across nearly 20 states. His largest holdings are located in Louisiana, roughly 69,000 acres, Arkansas, 48,000 acres, and Nebraska, 20,000 acres. And you got to think about it. Hellgates, he's an advocate and he's a spearhead. First off, he's part of the technocracy, you see, where the tech heads are calling the shots, because that's the next system coming into play. And he also he's hell bent on synthetic meat. Let me see, synthetic beef. It says Hellgates is a major proponent and venture investor in plant-based and lab-grown cultured meat to reduce methane emissions and climate impacts. You see, so that's his reason. But he's hell bent on synthetic beef. You see, lab-grown beef. You know, they had to throw plant-based, but it's really just lab-grown beef. So you gotta think about this. This dude, Hell Gates, he owns majority of the farmland in the United States. Jake don't know about that. You see? Then you got people like Peter Thiel, Alex Harp, you know, Sam Altman, all these, you know, all these technocrats. You know what I'm saying? They over here pushing forth the beast system. You see, transhumanism, merging human with AI. All this stuff is being done right now. But simultaneously, as these particular things are being done, because in order for them to bring those things into play, the current system must be done away. You know, that's why we say through the parent spirit, Slaki. That's why we say through the parent spirit of Yahweh Bashim Abashai, you know, this is a planned demolition. Esau is doing these things. He's bringing all this havoc. He's bringing all this chaos. So as the saying goes in the Freemasonic, one of the slogans in Latin is order ab chaos, order out of chaos. He's bringing chaos. He's bringing the circus. He's bringing all the distraction. Jacob reacting to it. People reacting to it, and it's just going to give him a reason to bring in his system as a solution. You see, and all this is being done right now, right before Jake eyes. But here it is. Instead of focusing and looking at those particular things, Jake would rather be super indulged in celebrity drama. Things like the World Cup, shit like that, man. So let me read this pull of scripture. It says, I put what are some reasons Roman emperors used the tactic bread and circus. So it tells you again, the phrase bread and circus, Latin for panim et circenses, was coined by the Roman satirist Juvenal. He criticized how Roman citizens had become more concerned with free food and entertainment than with political participation, you see. And this is a tactic that they used in Rome. And are now we in Rome 2.0, essentially. This is the revival of the Roman Empire. Look at the infrastructure. Look at how they run things. They're using the same tactic of bread and circus. Slakia. Let me do this real quick. So it says Rome's emperor uses strategy for several reasons. So we're going to look at the reasons they use it for. It says to prevent unrest. Large cities like Rome had many poor citizens. Providing free grain, which is bread, helped reduce hunger, while public games distracted people from economic hardship and made riots less likely. Salaki. It says to strengthen their popularity, gladiator contests, chariot races, animal hunts, and theoretical performances made emperors appear generous and caring. A popular empire was likely to face rebellion. 3, to distract from political problems. You see, so as I'm bleeding these particular reasons, you could tie all these reasons to what's going on now, to prevent unrest. You see, because here this gas is going up high, so motherfuckers are getting frustrated. Gas high, and with the gas being high, that means other things with the supply chain are getting bad. You see, they're getting pretty bad, and it's not a coincidence that they deciding to do the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? Now, out of all times in history, you know what I'm saying, they could have did the World Cup in 2018. 2017, it could have been in the U.S. They could have did any other year, but they decided to do this year specifically, and I looked up how long that was. It's roughly around 32 years, you know what I'm saying? Rough 32 years, you see? And if you want to get into it, what's 3 times 2? 6, you see? And, you're dealing with numbers and stuff. Because it's 32 years, and 3 times 6, or a two of threes is 6. You see? So it's not a coincidence that this World Cup is happening at this time specifically. All this hell and turmoil is being brung upon the earth. The U.S. peace deals that they've been trying to initiate with Iran never gone forth. More talks about data centers taking up all the water, you know what I'm saying? Taking all the drinkable water. You have, and you see this devil moving forward with his plans to even with Trump meeting up with China. You know what I'm saying? All these particular things are happening before Jake's eyes, but Jake would rather be indulged into circus, entertainment, comfortability, you see. As a matter of fact, let me pull a scripture. Let me pull the scripture. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Let me see. Is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It said, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. You see? So the house of feasting, mirth, entertainment, that's the end of all men. And that's what the Lord has had Esau display. When Esau's trying to do his, when he's trying to move forward with particular plans and particular things, he brings on the aspect of what? The bread and circus, to have the people, not push too back, not push back as much, so he don't receive as much pushback. You see? Now we know the bread and circus is not going to be effective for too long, because when you read Job 20, it speaks about how essentially the tactic that Esau using, it stopped working. It says every hand of the wicked shall come upon them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to the workers. You know what I'm saying? The people. So we know eventually it's going to be to the point to where shit ain't working. But as of right now, that shit's working. But we're not to be ignorant of it. You see? But I'm reading this. It said it's better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter. For by sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better, you see. Through sorrow is better than laughter. Being uncomfortable is better than being comfortable, man. Because through being uncomfortable, your la'ab is made better. You see? It says, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. I wonder what these say in the NLT. Let me see real quick. Let me see what it says in the NLT. It says better, I'm reading verse 2 again. It says better to spend your time at funerals than at parties. After all, everyone dies, so the living should take this to heart. Right? Verse 3, it says sorrow is better than laughter. For sadness had a refining influence on us. You see? Not being comfortable. And read verse 4. It says, a wise person thinks a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time. I'm gonna read. I wanted to catch it. It says, the heart of the wise is in a house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in a house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. And that's what's being displayed. Instead of them hearing the rebuke of the wise, right? Instead of them hearing the correction from Yahweh Bashar prophets, because what do you read about? And I think it's Isaiah 59. It says, cry aloud, show my people their transgressions. You see? We say it all the time, man. The prophets, they was never liked. Why? Because the prophets, when they came and talked to the nation of Israel, they came. That's why when you read in Samuel, they was like, oh shit. When Samuel came, they was like, have you come with good news? Because usually when the prophets come speak, they speak to the nation of Israel. It was a rebuke. It was correction. To get your shit right before the Lord jack you up. Because the prophets are what? They're the mouthpieces of Yahweh Bashar. So people rather hear the bread circus, these false prophets, because the false prophets indulge in the bread and circus. You see, they're part of the shit too. The distraction. Esau's already paid them niggas off, so they don't speak about the aspects of the end of Esau's reign and establishment of the kingdom of heaven and gearing up the body for the time of Jacob troubles and bitter in their faith. Instead, they talk about things like, the MOTB is sin. The MOTB is not this. It ain't got nothing to do with no technology. The MOTB ain't got nothing to do with technology. It ain't no micro C hip. The Lord don't care if you get a micro C hip. Take the jump shot. You see? All these particular things they talk about, and Jake love to hear that. They love to hear ain't nothing bad coming down the pipe. They love to hear that. They love to be comfortable. You see? So I'm reading that part again to say this is better to hear the rebuke of the wise. Why? Because that brings forth life. You gonna wish that you would have took heed unto the rebuke of the wise when all hell begins to break loose and you get a taste of the Lord's wrath that he's bringing. You're going to wish that I should have listened to the prophets. You see? If a person screams at you, call you a bitch ass nigga, get your dumb ass out the fucking road for your ass get hit, you take heed unto that and you get out the road, right? You're not going to be concerned about how the message was displayed. You're going to be happy that your life is still intact, that you still alive. You ain't going to be thinking about, damn, he called me a bitch ass nigga, get the fuck out the road. I'm like, dang, appreciate you, bro. It's crazy you said like that, but it helped. You see, now we're not saying, but the message of the prophets will come out a little rough. That's what Paul said. Rude in speech, but great in knowledge. Loosely paraphrasing it. Right? So it's like I said, it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. And that's what Jake would rather hear, the song of fools. He'd rather hear the false prophets. He'd rather hear Esau. Shit. He'd rather indulge in Esau's foolishry, if that's even a word. foolishness. There we go. He rather indulge Esau's foolishness, right? So I'm gonna keep reading some of this. We read two. We're gonna read three. It says to distract from political problems. During times of military defeats, corruption, high taxes, or economic decline, which is going on specifically right now, that's what's majorly going on. Esau been getting his ass twaxed over there in Iran. They closing out the Strait of Hormuz to us. U.S. been taking them L's. The taxes, shit. Gas, man. Gas is high and taxes high. The food more expensive. It's a lot of economic decline. I actually did a video on that recently. How a lot of the particular things going on Earth declining. The pay is not keeping up with it. Your pay is not keeping up with it. You can't. A lot of people start to feel it because it's like, fuck, I don't got enough money to indulge in my weakness. I got to sit my ass at home. Right? It says, or economic decline. It says spectacular public entertainment could shift people's attention away from government failures. And that's what you see happening. With the World Cup, everybody was talking about, you see these videos going around about, not having no money for shit, not being able, but you motherfuckers are World Cup, World Cup, World Cup. And, right before the World Cup, what was going on? The NBA Finals. You see? And it was pretty, because you had to, if you're into it, the Spurs had beat OKC, and people was happy because people wasn't fucking with OKC. And they was like, oh yeah, the Spurs finna play the NBA Finals, and the NBA Finals only go to Game 7, but it ended up ending at Game 5. 5-1, Knicks win. But you see, that literally was, like, if you look at how it was positioned, that literally ended right before the World Cup, The World Cup started to go on shortly after that, man. So all this distraction going on, and I had to delete social media, so I can't even think about no fucking celebrity mess. Recently you just had BET, Black Entertainment. Jake love that shit. Black Entertainment literally just dropped. I don't even watch that shit, but that's dropped. So Jake is all in that Black Entertainment. The World Cup, because the world, football has become more popular. Niggas watching Speed, that nigga stream football. So the World Cup here. You had the NBA Finals right before it, which was games Spurs shouldn't have won. They was making it look very tight, but come to find out the Knicks bring it home. You see all these particular things are happening, but at the same time while these things are happening, Esau is moving. You see, the Lord has Esau moving. You see? The Lord has Esau moving. Military adjustments. You see? You got the oil. You got going to oil high. Gas. Cause we're not getting the straight Hormuz closed. That's closed off. Man, you ask somebody, but you ask a random nigga about that shit, they ain't gonna know. And recently we just had some major earthquakes happen. I just seen right now they got a 5.5 earthquake off the coast of Oregon. You just had an earthquake, I think like 7.1. And another one in Venezuela. The Lord sitting plagues on this place, but people are not paying attention. They likewise just read in Ecclesiastes 7. They'd rather hear the song of fools than the rebuke of the wise. It's better to hear the rebuke of the wise. Because the wise, which is the prophets, they out here telling Jake, hey, get your shit right. You see? So I'm gonna read the rest of these. Then we're gonna pull some scriptures. It says pull some more scriptures. It says to reinforce imperial power. Huge arenas such as the Colosseum showcase the empire's wealth, engineering, and military success. Victorious generals, exotic animals, and captured enemies reminded the public of Rome's dominance. You You see, it says to promote social stability. Entertainment gave citizens a common activity and reduced idle time that they might otherwise lead to protests or political organizing. And that you see happening too. You know, this World Cup got motherfuckers busy. They ain't got time. The World Cup got motherfucker busy, working all the fucking time, getting busy. Niggas ain't protesting. Niggas ain't protesting. They not able to protest and do that shit. They gotta get this money. They gotta go see the World Cup. They gotta go see the finals. What's the next boxing match? You know. And 6, it says to encourage loyalty, free grain distributions and lavish games created a sense that the emperor personally provided for the people, fostering gratitude and allegiance. Right? And it says, what is effective? It says, for long periods, yes, bread and circus helped many emperors maintain public order, especially in Rome. However, they did not solve the deeper problems such as what? Inflation, government corruption, political instability, military overextension, and economic decline, which, when you look at all these things, check. That's what's going on in Rome now. Inflation, government corruption, which we already know, political instability, military overextension, economic decline. You see? This system is circling a drain. And we see it through the password of Yahweh Shah. But you, Jake, you don't see it. You see? But we're not to be ignorant, you see? Because we have the Harakah, we had a spirit of Yahweh Shah on us. As a matter of fact, let me pull this. If I split that right. It's a good one. As much as I just read from this is Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. You see? And the simple, that's what you see. Here it is. The simple, which is the Jake without the understanding, man. The wicked of the nation of Israel. You see, here it is. It's constant talks about peace. It's constant talks about the peace treaty and things like that. But them hoes never go forward. You know, they never go forward. And a lot of Jake ain't even looking at that, man. They just think, hey, that's why they elected that nigga Donald Duck, Nero. Because he promised them no more war. You remember, this nigga Donald Duck was, when he was auditioning for president, this nigga was talking about no more war. MAGA, make America great again. You see, that was his whole slogan, make America great, no more war. I think he's talking about lowering the taxes, all that. And they believe that shit, but us through the parents of Yahweh Shai, like it says, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. We looking out in front of him, we also like, nah, this nigga lying. This nigga lying, this is part of this nigga deceit, man. You see? We know according to the scriptures what's coming down. We see the prophecies playing out before our eyes, so you can't tell us otherwise. Right? But let me get that thing just right here. Right? This is Proverbs 20:23. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Because, you know, when you go into the word prudent, you have care for the future. So we see through the power spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, we're able to see what is the feature of this place. What is the feature of things to come? Now, obviously, we don't know, like, oh, yeah, it's going to be exactly like this. No, we don't know that, but we know the bigger picture of what Esau's trying to do. You see? And the reason we know is because the Lord revealed it unto us. Because essentially, that's the Lord's bigger picture for this place. Because this is the Lord's will being played out. He wants Esau to establish his system for a little season. He wants that. That's what the Lord wants to happen. You see? Scriptures speak about it. Job 20 goes all into it, man. He's gonna establish that system. And that system is going to be a system where, like I said, happy having nothing. You got the Neuralink. You got whatever brand of the C up in your head. You got that hole in your hand. Fucking, you can't go to a city unless you were being a bad citizen. Look at the social credit system of China. It's gonna be like on some shit like that. They didn't say they didn't make that statement happy having nothing for no reason. You see, he's gonna get to that, but it's gonna be shortly lived, right? But it says a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. You see, so a prudent man listens to the rebuke of the wise. See, they're not tricked by the bread and circus, the tricks, the gimmicks that Esau's doing. As a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Salaki. Matthew 24. Right here it says, and Yahushua answered. No, not that one. Salaki, bear with me. It's in this chapter. Yeah, this is it. This is Matthew 24 and verse 24. It says, for there shall rise false Mashiachs, false messiahs, and false prophets, and show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You see, so it's not possible to, like Scripture say, no enchantment against Jacob. You see, so it's not possible to get all wound up and trick the elect. You see. We see straight through it. We have the X-ray vision, man. We have the owl vision. We have the eyesight. We able to see in this dark. This place is full of dirt, and we able to see in it. We can see everything. See all the bullshit, man. The parents pretty get how we see all the bullshit. We see it, man. This bread and circus, this tactic that ancient Rome used, which we know this place is what? Revival of Rome 2.0, using the same tactic, you see, in a time where the people are military, you have military defeats, like we just read. Let's read like we just read. Inflation, government corruption, political or economic insustainability, economic decline. All these particular things are happening, and we know why they happen to the parents for the Yahweh. Malachi 1 tells you that. Speaks about that. You see, the nigga in rulership, the Lord said he's gonna throw his shit down once he rebuilds it up. So we know why these particular things are happening. See, so like I read again, for there shall rise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Let's just know it's not possible. They're not gonna get the elect with this bullshit that they have going on, man. They're not gonna get them. So let me get this. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Verse 11 says, lest Satan shall get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, and I want to get some words in this. Because Satan, who is a physical counterpart of Satan, 2 Thessalonians tells you about that. The man whose comings is after the working of Satan. right? This man is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the physical counterpart of Shaitan. So, let's see. Right? This is for that word advantage. It says I play it.
Strong's G 4122. Pleonecteo. Pleonecteo.
Right? It says pleonecteo, and it says to have more, to or a greater part of, share, to be superior, excel, surpass, have an advantage over, to gain, to take advantage of another, to overreach. You see, so to have gain, to be a step ahead of you. You see, have the victory. Essentially, let's see what the root word says. Okay, ain't got none. But like you said, in other words, let Satan get the victory over you, man. Because if you're not ignorant, if you're ignorant to Satan's devices, right? You don't know, which is a vast majority of Jake. All Jake shit. Because at least for the heathen, man, they kind of be hip, as scriptures say. My people are sottish. You see. So let me get this, and I'm gonna pull some more scriptures because they just came to mind. So let me get the devices. It says devices. Let me get device. It says to perceive with the mind, to understand, to have understanding, to think upon, heed, ponder. Let me see if I got some in here. You got some in here.
Dude, this is the best part of the day.
Right? But it's still like it says, to think upon, to ponder, consider, right? To perceive with the mind. So we're not ignorant of this nigga plans. It says, let Satan, right? As a matter of fact, you read it in NLT, it says that. It says so that Satan would not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. You see, his plans. We're not blinded. As a matter of fact,
Knew this was gonna work out. So, who's hungry?
yeah, so we're not ignorant of it, man. Satan's schemes, Satan's devices. We're not ignorant of it. Let's get this. Well, where is it at? Ah, damn. There we go. Right, let's get this. Hosea 4:6. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's what's happened. People are destroyed for rejecting. Because the reason they have lack of the knowledge is because they reject it. They reject the knowledge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Salakia. I'm trying to fix this for my kids. But they reject the knowledge of Yahweh Bahashem. And with them rejecting the knowledge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, which is who's out here displaying the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bahashem, the prophets. The Lord said, I will give you prophets, teachers, according to my understanding. You see, so the Lord has set up prophets, evangelists. You read about that in Ephesians. All prophets, evangelists, all these offices to bring essentially only the elect. Because it's from the beginning, the Lord already had it set up that only the elect will understand these things and not the wicked. Not the wicked of nation Israel. Right? So I can have my head covered a little bit. Had a blanket over it. I'm trying to move stuff around. But yeah. They will understand it. You see? Like I said, though, my people destroyed for lack of knowledge. See? Since these niggas don't know that They don't have no understanding of the prophecies. They don't want to have understanding of the prophecies. This is see, because it's not just these niggas seeking. The Lord got that reprobate spirit on them that they don't want to seek. They don't desire. They're not in the spirit of the disciples when you read Acts. Without now restore the kingdom of heaven, they're not in that spirit. They're in the spirit of Babylon the Great, returning back to how it was back in their heyday, I guess you could say, where it seems very cool to them. You see? But it said my people destroyed. You see? Destroyed for this. This leads on to destruction. Let me get another one.
I lived in this city only max.
Let me see.
Dog in New York because of her. That's Katie. Well, we have a perfect relationship. We met a few years ago, and boy, let me tell you, we got along right away. You know, it was one of those relationships where you just know. And get this, she was looking for a roommate, and so was I. So I just moved in that same day.
Let me see if it pops up like this. I don't know if I'm wording it right.
Together ever since. Katie would do anything for me.
Yeah, that's it. It's Luke 16:8. It says, and the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their, it says, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. You see, and that's what we see. The children of the world, you see, the wicked. We talking about the heathen. The heathen, when you look at these, when you go on these videos and you watch these, I mean, for example, like the one guy, it's the one guy that Elder Ariella, he constantly he'll make videos on. This nigga, that's a heathen. You see, the heathen are hip. You see, they're hip to what's going on. They're hip to the decline of economic things. They're hip to. You even have a motherfucker say some shit like it's similar to Rome, man. Let's see if we can look it up. And I guarantee you it's going to be a heathen. Let's look it up right quick. Let's go to YouTube.
That's a good boy.
But it never works.
Let me see.
Where is she going? What could she possibly be doing? Oh, I miss her so much. Oh my, oh, she's back.
Forgot my phone.
Let's see.
Oh, come on.
Right. This nigga right here. Edomite.
Bye, Kitchen. Good talking.
It says you got these Tucker Carlson. Fall of Rome. Why Rome collapsed feels like today's probably, I ain't gonna play it because of the sound, but is America next? Rome fell in stages. Is U.S. on the same clock? What to know why Rome fell and why America's compared to it. You see, all this is nothing but heathen, man. Heathen. All this is nothing but heathen. And then majority of ones in the comment section are heathen. You see? So like I said, read it again. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And who are the children of light? The children of light is supposed to be the Israelites. Well, the children of light are the Israelites. But they're not acting like the children of light, man. They supposed to be like we supposed to be, y'all supposed to be enlightened. But here it is, you niggas don't have the light. And we could tell you niggas don't have the light because all you care about is the Cardi B, Stephon Diggs, Offset, Mulatto with her little pregnancy and things like that. You see, celebrity kids. Oh, look at Kanye West's daughter. Look at Beyonce's daughter. You're getting so big. Oh, shit. Rihanna just got married to ASAP. Oh, my gosh. Oh, World Cup. Messi. Ronaldo. I think his name Lamani. I ain't saying it right. You see? Who's going to win the World Cup? France, Mbappe. You see? NBA Finals. Who going to win? The Knicks, Spurs. You see, that's all Jake B cared about. And the whole time, this nigga Esau got you niggas distracted. Nigga Esau finna overthrow y'all. You read about that in Sirach 12 or 10. Never trust an enemy. You see? Don't set him beside it. He'll seek to take thy seat. This nigga Esau trying to establish his artificial version of the birthright. And it don't have Jake included. Jake is gonna be erased. You see? It don't have Jake included in it. You niggas are gonna be perpetual slaves through this devil's technology that he's gonna use. He's gonna beguile you with his technology. You see? The certain miracles he's gonna be able to do with his technology and things. The certain pieces the devil's put into place. Free speech is already being attacked. Your whole freedom, all of creation is being attacked by this nigga. But Jake don't see it. Jake's just like, oh shit, man. I got this fat ass salty pretzel, and I'm over here at the fucking World Cup. Or I'm watching the World Cup. Hey, let's watch the World Cup. You see? That's all Jake fucking care about. Is to be comfortable. And they let the false prophets cater to their emotions. See, man, I ended off with that, man. Lord was edifying through the parents pretty Yahweh Bashim Abashai. I'm going to end up saying call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yabashai Bahashim HaKadosh. I want to give them honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone and to Yahweh say Shalom.